Today we are going to make an epic gladiator helmet using 3D printing. I'll walk you through how to make it look as realistic as possible while keeping it lightweight and comfortable. By the end of the video, I'll show you a special technique to give your plastic helmet the look of aged metal. So we got ourselves a brand new 3D printer with a huge build volume 40 by 40 by 40 centimeters. Naturally, we wanted to print something big. That's where we decided to create a collection of designer masks and helmets. We asked an AI for help with the design. At first, we played around with a bunch of futuristic styles like cyberpunk, sci-fi and biotech. But then we paused and thought, why is everything always about the future or fantasy? So we decided to look back at real human history instead. That's how we ended up diving into the aesthetic of ancient Rome, the era of powerful emperors and gladiator battles. It was like discovering a whole new universe, and the visual impact is just as strong as anything futuristic. We even rewatched Gladiator with Russell Crowe. Movies are great for transporting you to another world for a couple of hours, but cosplay takes it to the next level. When you wear something from another time, it's like stepping out of your own reality. And that's how the plan to make our very own gladiator helmet was born. All we had to do was figure out the design, and we had some pretty cool ideas for it.
Gladiator grossed $460 million worldwide and won 5 Oscars, including Best Picture. It's clear people love to escape to other eras. But why? Movies romanticize history. Let's be real, life in ancient Rome wasn't glamorous. The average life expectancy was 25 years. There was no hygiene, no medicine, no transportation, and not even basic comforts. Films skip over the dirt, sweat and blood. Instead, they focus on heroism, power and glory. Beautiful sets and costumes, and of course the classic story of tragic love, where a regular person takes down a powerful enemy with an entire army. Who wouldn't fall in love with that version of history? For regular moviegoers, it's all about watching, but cosplayers take it further. They become part of the action by donning real costumes and armor. It's like traveling through a multiverse, but in real life. There is a whole universe of cosplay worlds inspired by movies and games. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, cyberpunk, anime, the list goes on. Many explore dystopian futures, reflecting humanity's fears like tyranny of empires, machines ruling the world, post-apocalypse, zombie epidemic and other dystopian scenarios. But when the future isn't your thing, historical cosplay offers a known and romanticized past, thanks to cinema.
Our collection of helmets is like a portal to a different universe. Even holding just one helmet in your hand makes you feel connected to another world. And it doesn't cost much. You can make a helmet in just a couple of days for about 20 bucks. And today we'll show you exactly how. Alright, today we are going to make a gladiator helmet. But what does a gladiator helmet even look like? You may think that's obvious, and immediately picture the famous helmet worn by Maximus in the movie Gladiator. A quick Google search will bring up plenty of images. So why not just recreate it? Well, there's a bit of catch with that idea.
The thing is that Maximus's helmet isn't historically accurate. The real Roman gladiator helmets looked very different. The designs varied depending on the gladiator's rank, the type of combat and the era. But even with all this variety, you won't find anything that closely resembles the movie version of the helmet. Real helmets were designed purely for protection, covering the entire head and neck, and were made from thin bronze. You couldn't even see the fighter's face. Ridley Scott's armorer Terry English actually brought a design close to real gladiator helmets. But as usual with movies, style won out over accuracy. Costume designer Janet Yates wanted something that made Maximus look more dramatic and heroic. So she went with thicker steel, added spikes and the crest, and left part of his face uncovered to show emotions like his eyes and mouth. Instead of the bronze, she used a silver color, maybe to make Maximus look more like a good guy. Yates didn't stop there. In Gladiator, the arena fighters' helmets are a mix of different periods and places, like medieval Eastern designs, Anglo-Saxon helmets from Sutton Hoo, and even fantasy ones with skulls and bat wings. You could argue that the film takes some liberties from history, but it didn't stop Ridley Scott from making a hit movie, Yates from winning an Oscar, and Maximus's helmet from becoming a cosplay favorite.
After searching all this, we decided to create our own version of Gladiator helmet. We are not Hollywood, but we can still add some personal flair. We didn't want a simple copy of a real helmet, as it would look too rough, and you can easily buy a Maximus helmet online. Plus, that design's kind of overdone. So, we aimed for elegance and something that could be worn by women too. We took inspiration from Venetian style and decided to focus on just the faceplate, making it more of a mask than a full helmet. We used Midjourney to generate a design: gladiator mask, Venetian style, 3D model. Neural networks are surprisingly good at blending styles. Check out what we got! Now that the design is approved, let's move on to the production phase.
We considered a few different methods. Papier-mâché is easy and cheap, but it takes a lot of time and patience. Another option is cardboard or foil, which are also simple materials. However, our mask has smooth, streamlined shapes and needs precise symmetry, which would be hard to get with those. You could use air-dry clay, which allows for nice details without too much time. But the biggest downside is it's fragile. Drop it once and it's shattered. Polymer clay is stronger but way more expensive, and you'd need to create a base like out of foil. You could also try 3D pen. You build a basic structure, then fill it gradually. To smooth it out, you'd use a soldering iron. This method can give you something strong and pretty detailed, but using a 3D pen takes some practice, so don't expect to be perfect on your first try. In the end, we choose 3D printing. Yes, you need a printer and some tech skills, but it's hands down the fastest, most reliable and convenient way to tackle projects like this. It's great for detail, durability and flexibility. We went with FDM printing because the mask is big and doesn't need super detailed work.
We got a live designer to turn our flat image into a 3D model, then split it into parts for easier printing. If the power goes out during printing, you won't lose much work this way. The link to this model is in the description of the video. So once printed, we clean off the supports and sand down the joints. For assembly, we use 2-part epoxy glue, which is way stronger than super glue.
Yeah.
There are some gaps where the parts connect. To fix them, we just pour in a bit of UV resin and cure it with a UV lamp. If there's extra resin, you can easily sand it off. Next, we smooth the whole surface of the mask, since 3D printing leaves fine lines. So we'll apply a thin layer of UV resin with a brush and cure it again. Then give it another sanding. For painting, first we spray on a primer. Then sand lightly. Wet sanding helps reduce dust. Just keep the parts wet while sanding. Use black matte spray paint. 2 coats are ideal. Once dry, we rub some gold acrylic paint into the edges with a brush and fingers to give it a metallic look. Finish with a matte spray varnish. To make it more comfortable to wear, you can stick a soft material like Alcantara on the inside. Add wide black elastic bands through the slots and you're good to go.
As parents of 2, we used to think cosplay was just for teenagers. But after making our own gladiator helmet, we realized it's like stepping through a portal into another universe. A world of fierce warriors, graceful ladies, powerful Caesars, and the unmatched aesthetic of ancient Rome. It turns out, cosplay is a fantastic way to travel through the multiverse without leaving home. And we're already planning more. Our collection includes helmets in cyberpunk, sci-fi, and even traditional Japanese kabuki style. Check out our video for this. Neural networks and 3D printing have made these journeys more accessible than ever. We hope this video inspires you to take a trip too. Let us know what you think of the mask. What style should we add to our collection next? Leave your suggestions in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share. See you next time!